Moving on towards the next keynote presentation, which I'm sure all our participants are waiting for, is by Mr. Jukic, the CTO and co-founder One Source Solutions International, our gold sponsor, on the topic medical data governance, a unifying infrastructure to resolve biggest barriers to the use of artificial intelligence in healthcare. Welcome, and the stage is all yours, Vedran.
Okay, thank you. Let me just prepare the stage here. There you go. Okay, so I think we can start here. So hello to everybody. I'm Vedran Jukic, the co-founder and chief technology officer of One Source International, or shorter OSSI, or somebody just want to call it OSSI. So my partner and co-founder, trained surgeon and practicing anesthesiologist, Dr. Harold Arkoff, just yesterday had a presentation of what is the first part of this presentation, really. Connecting the care providers to their patients in real time by providing the universal data set of normalized, validated, and continuous data from many sources and devices. The first part of this presentation will be available to you by the organizer of this event. So, okay, let's start about this more technical, hands-on expose of different barriers to use of artificial intelligence in critical care and one existing solution. As technology progresses, and the adoption of solutions such as the one I'm presenting today will spread from the critical care environment, such as intensive care and operating room, to ambulatory and primary healthcare, and then to hospital-driven home care, and later on to chronic home care patients. Article of public frustration about long-coming artificial intelligence adoption in healthcare is coming out almost every day now. They have all in common: lack of data. The lack of critical healthcare data was the reason of one of the biggest failure in healthcare AI adoption. You're probably going to recognize it. What's on health? It does work, and it does a job in weather forecast. The amount of precise, continuous data coming from real-time, high-frequency sensors make it work. And it's so accurate that you trust it more than your own senses. But it failed in real-world healthcare for the same reason it was exceptional in weather forecast. No data, no metadata. So what are the barriers to the use of artificial intelligence in critical healthcare? In brief, no data collected, no metadata being saved, no normalized data, no interoperability among medical devices, strained islands of medical devices which display and show their own data without centralized, time-synchronized, patient-centric view. Cost and limited, mostly supported for its own medical devices from single vendors such as GE, Philips, or Mindray, just to mention a few. So OSSI has developed in the past few years and over 30 years of clinical and medical device data integration experience, a layered solution. It goes in three phases: the foundation of medical data integration, the centralized information system where all the data displays for both real-time and past events, and the medical data governance, the top tier level. The foundation resolves the basic data collection directly from the various vendor medical devices by using different physical and logical protocols supported by the medical devices. It is medical-grade IoT hardware and 60601 safety regulated product. The advanced presentation layer, it's able to collect and display data, time-synchronized data of most location-based patient vital measurement devices, such as patient monitors, anesthesia, and ventilators, and IV and syringe pumps. The third top layer is medical data governance, the object of this presentation, and the solution to the first and biggest reason of a poor adoption of the AI solution in critical care, healthcare. So what is the medical data governance? In the next 5 minutes, you will understand it from the basics, applied to an inpatient hospital critical care environment. So let's start with the patient. In the critical care environment, the patient is always located to the bed or location. The following is what happens in a typical hospital environment, in a typical hospital intensive care unit. Equipped with fixed or on-wheels medical devices. Most of their devices we'll see in the future gets lost. Portable or temporary ambulatory medical devices may be used for exams or measurement. Given a problem of about positive patient association, some of the data are manually or automatically taken no more than once per minute into electronic medical record or written on a piece of paper. Doctors, nurses, and other specialists such as respiratory therapists, cardiologists, pneumologists, in theory, have those information ready. That is what EMR was designed for. Well, no. All that information is for documentation and billing, really. Sporadic, non-time synchronized, with a huge risk of being wrong or simply not representing the real situation. In other words, useless for real machine learning and artificial intelligence. Medical data governance approach collects time synchronized and associates all the data and metadata. And one of the biggest questions is, what is the metadata? So the metadata is the contextual data about the patient that is in the EMR, such as medications, allergies, diagnosis, and in the future will include natural languages processing of written documents, such as doctor notes, ultrasound reports, and radiology reports, and even genetic markers. With all that information, then it serves the EMR with the most representative 1-minute data and keeps the rest of the 99.99% of valuable data for AI, patient awareness, research, and education, quality management, root cause analysis, and other use. Well, that's not all. It can acquire data from wearables, Bluetooth devices, and other medical and non-medical devices such as fitness trackers, IP cameras, and video sources. Well, what MDG does, MDG stands for Medical Data Governance. What MDG does is essentially collecting, time synchronizing, and associating data. Not only coming from continuous sources of information, such as monitors, ventilators, pumps, but also from spot measurement, doctor and nurses' action and comments, schedule, drug administration, and preparation. And as we said, also coming from EMR, medications, allergies, diagnosis. And as I already mentioned before, in the future, will include natural language processing of written documents, doctor notes, ultrasound reports, and radiology reports, and other elements such as genetic markers. The consolidated data and metadata can then be streamlined into other systems and represents the true source of data of artificial intelligence and machine learning. So MDG does two things, essentially. The first, it's time synchronizes and records all medical data and metadata. The second one is creating permanent or temporal associated clinical sets. So the typical deployment of one source solution in the hospitals looks like this. It goes from an IoT collecting data. IOMT stands for medical. You cannot just use any hardware there. It has to be a hardware that was specifically designed to be used inside the hospital and in medical care, to the edge computing, providing the unit, compressed storage, and bandwidth filter. It's very important because the amount of data that we collect can actually exceed 1 terabyte of data per day. So I have not seen yet a hospital network information system that can sustain that. So as a finishing line, the main objective of medical data governance is to preserve and serve all the data that it usually gets lost. It does look easy and natural, but in reality and in real hospital environment, without a proper tool, it's quite hard, and biggest reason why artificial intelligence has proven to be effective except in healthcare, and in particular in critical care health. So the medical data governance enables artificial intelligence and patient-centric approach by preserving and serving 99.9% of the clinical data that usually gets lost. While the traditional or current EMR simply does not have enough power or data to do the same. So one last thing to mention, and it concerns the Gulf area. Lack of data is what every single declaration was screaming of. Lack of data and infrastructure. And the OSSI has a unique value proposition and solves those precise problems. And in fact, it is the keystone element to bring artificial intelligence in all and every single hospital, regardless of the region or medical device vendors. Essentially, keep all the medical device data you have there, install the middleware solution that will enable artificial intelligence and machine learning in your hospital today, and probably in few months or years, we will have the artificial intelligence effectiveness almost the same as in other sectors. By the way, the keystone is represented in our OSSI logo. We are the keystone technology, the one that is connecting older and real-time medical device data and the ability to collect them to be served by artificial intelligence, machine learning, and other services. So you can reach me or Dr. Harold through this email, through the barcode, through the QR code there, or through the OSSI webpage. Thank you.
Thank you, Vedran, for the insightful presentation. It was very informative, and I'm sure there's a lot of learning for all of us. Our participants definitely get a lot of information from your keynote, and thank you for joining us today. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.